Hello everyone, welcome to the webinar series presented by Precision Roll Grinders. Today we will be talking about capacities and capabilities at our Allentown facility. I'm a new speaker to this webinar series. Hello, my name is Jonah Casella. I've been a technical planner at the Allentown branch for 2 years now. I graduated from Lehigh 2 years ago and I currently attend Vanderbilt University. A little background on technical planners. We are the point of contact between you, the customer, and our operations factory. You can come to us with any questions, comments, or concerns you have for your rolls or shafts that are at our shop, and we are more than happy to help. Without further ado, I'm going to continue the presentation. So a little bit about our facility. This is the company's headquarters, which is located in Allentown, Pennsylvania. As you can see, we are on the eastern side of Pennsylvania in Lehigh County. We also are conveniently located between Philadelphia and New York City, with Philadelphia being about an hour away and New York City being about an hour and a half. This is a great place to live. It's thriving and growing area, and it's a perfect place for our company to be headquartered in. Lastly, a little bit about our Allentown facility. We do have dedicated trucking that works out of our facility through Lilly Trucking of Georgia. We have a truck driver that does day routes. So if you guys are ever if your company's in the radius around our facility that allows for that, that's something we do offer, dedicated trucking for pickup and deliveries of your rolls. So next, let's talk about our capabilities of roll types. We actually work with a plethora of different types of rolls, anywhere from stainless steel and cast iron to rubber and forged steel. Of really interesting rolls that we get to work with on a regular basis are engraved rolls. These rolls can be seen in the top right-hand corner picture. They are rolls that have some sort of engraved design on them for the product process. And because of that, it takes special grinding techniques and tools in order to get to the tolerance that the customer is looking for. And that's something that we're definitely capable of doing. We also work a lot, like I said, with rubber rolls, which is on the total other side of the spectrum than engraved rolls, but it's something that we are equipped to work with and we do on a regular basis. And lastly, we see a lot of chilled iron rolls very frequently. And again, chilled iron is a very common roll type, but it is something that we see frequently and we have the ability to grind to the specifications and tolerances our customers ask for. Something else that we provide, a service that we provide at our Allentown branch, is bearings and housings. You can send in your rolls with bearings and housings on, with them off, but either way, they're going to get inspected, cleaned, and reassembled if wanted. In some cases, they come on the roll, which would make us do a disassembly, clean, inspect, and reassemble. Sometimes customers do not want them reassembled on their roll and just cleaned, but we've seen pretty much everything, and I know that we have a good grasp on doing bearings inspections. Now, if we do also offer inspections from bearing manufacturer representatives. For example, we'll have SKF representatives come in here to do bearing inspections if the customer is looking for that. Again, we are perfectly capable of doing inspections ourselves, but for insurance or warranty reasons, if an SKF or any other bearing manufacturer representative is needed, that is something that we can accommodate. The last bullet point there says that we also will purchase new bearings for customers if they so do choose. Again, we would purchase, they would come new bearings, and then we would assemble them on the roll for you if needed. Roll testing. So we offer a plethora of tests for rolls, anywhere from dynamic balancing to static and dynamic leak tests. Let me talk about dynamic balancing. We normally do this for larger rolls, and it allows us to fine-tune any adjustments that you need. We are authorized to work on grades 0.4 to 6.3. And if you look over to the right, that graphic can be found on our website, precisionrollgrinders.com, and it just goes through our capabilities of our dynamic balancing machine. We can go up to 160,000 pounds. Our speeds can get up to 3,300 RPMs, and even in some cases 6,000 RPMs. It's very capable, and we are able to balance a whole variety of rolls with the machine we currently have. The bottom right-hand corner, you can see two pictures. On the left is a roll that is currently in the balancing machine, obviously in that picture that was taken a little bit ago. And then you can also see to the right, it got a little refurbished, and our balancing machine went from green to blue. It's something that we obviously continue to work on, keep updated, and is a viable option for dynamic balancing for your roll. We also provide static and dynamic leak tests. These leak tests are normally performed on swim rolls, and it allows us to determine if seals are needed to be replaced. It finds the amount of leakage coming out of the seal, which can tell us whether the seal is operating correctly or not at that specific pressure that we're putting the fluid in at. It's important that you always check your seals to make sure that they are doing their job, because if not, I'm sure that there would be a problem. Like I said, we offer static and dynamic leak tests, and if you have questions on that, you can ask them at the end. We also provide testing for cracks. We do two types of testing in-house. We have a non-destructive testing, or NDT, and that graphic on the left shows you the steps that the process takes. You first clean off the crack, or where you assume that there is a crack, and we apply a penetrant, normally a red dye. This red dye is then cleaned off the surface, but with light cleaning, the red dye will remain in the crack and will only be washed off the surface of the roll. We will then apply a developer, and that developer allows that red dye to come out of the crack and show where the crack actually is. So an NDT test is used for locating cracks. Next, we have our ultrasonic testing. So once we do the NDT and we see that there is a crack present, we obviously want to know how deep that crack is. So we use our ultrasonic testing in order to find crack depth. The visual that you see shows a very simplified version of ultrasonic testing, which shoots ultrasonic into the roll, bounces off the other side, comes back, and that's why you see those two spikes, which indicates the two sides of the roll. Then, when a third spike appears, that indicates where the bottom of the crack is. This allows for very accurate depth measuring for cracks, which can be hard in other ways, but because ultrasonic testing is used, it's pretty accurate, and it allows us to give you guys an estimate on how much we think will have to be ground off in order for the crack to be removed from the surface of the roll. Obviously, we would want there to be no crack, but in some cases, the cracks are so deep that it would have reached minimum size by the time we grind it off, which is very important for the customer to know, so we don't waste our time grinding and the roll's material being ground off in a crack that maybe is too deep for recovery. Something else we offer at the Allentown facility is our chocolate refiner work. We do total chocolate refiner rebuilds, and we actually have we've sold chocolate refiners in the past. We also offer a field service for any people in the chocolate industry. The field service includes two of our mechanics coming out and servicing your machine on site. which is very beneficial to the customers. This way they don't have to remove any rolls, they don't have to remove the refiner. It saves you guys time and money. We do shell swaps for chocolate refiner rolls. We do temperature sensor programming, and we also grind the rolls, obviously. All of this so you have the best chocolate refiner that we can produce for you. Again, we have very trained mechanics that will travel to your facilities, and I think is very beneficial for the customer. Next, I'd like to talk about the physical capabilities of our grinders. Our grinding capacity is all over the chart, and because of that, we really can get a variety of rolls in our facility. So you can see on the left, under grinding capacity, our diameters of your rolls can go anywhere between 2 inches to 168 inches. So lengths up to 600 inches and weights totaling 240,000 pounds. This weight obviously is supported by, we have 2 large industrial 40-ton cranes that we can move rolls around with. And because of this, again, we can have a lot of different types of rolls and size of rolls in our facility to get the grind that you guys are looking for. Over on the right is our CNC lathe capacity. We have very skilled lathe technicians that can work with, again, pretty much any roll that comes in with any problem. We can find, we'll have the machine to do the repair, and if we don't know how to do the repair, you know that we're going to learn it and master it for you guys to get your rolls out and ready to go. Physical capacities continued. All of our grinders are Waldrich Seagren grinders, which are recognized as the finest grinders in the world. And that's one of the reasons why we can meet the tolerances that we say we can meet. On the bottom, you can see we can grind to as tight as 20 millionths of an inch. And we have the technology to grind rolls that are 120 tons and up to 60 feet long. Again, the grinders, we'd be nothing without our grinders, and we put in capital to get the best grinders, and we sincerely believe that we have the best grinders and grinder operators. So looking for tight tolerances, you know that we'll be able to achieve them. I was speaking about our Allentown facility that is located in Pennsylvania, but we do have 2 other facilities, three other facilities, one in Carrollton, Georgia, one in Lewisport, Kentucky, and one bordering Texas and Arkansas in Texarkana, Arkansas. Depending on where your business is located, you'll be shot to one of those 4 facilities, whichever's closer and in the range of that facility. So thank you for your time for this short webinar. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I will stay on the line for a little bit if anybody would like to say anything. But if not, I'll just wait for some comments for a couple minutes, and then we will finish the webinar. Thank you again for your time, and I'm opening the floor up for questions. All right, it doesn't seem like we have any questions at this time. So I just again want to thank everyone for attending the webinar today. Have a safe and fun rest of the week. And remember that Precision Roll Grinders is always here for your grinding services needs. Thank you very much and have a nice day.